Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Conscious Woman podcast. This is the third episode of our summer series where I invite inspiring women to share their wisdom with us. And so today we're speaking with Dr. Kim Duramo. Dr. Kim Duramo is an emergency medicine doctor who's always been passionate about mind-body medicine, which essentially is about the activating the body's capacity to heal itself. And so now she's running her own mind-body medicine practice, and she helps people heal from chronic illnesses, from pain, anxiety, and things like that, that sometimes conventional medicine really struggles to support people with. She wrote a #1 Amazon best-selling book called The Mind-Body Toolkit, which I highly recommend. And she's been profiled on a number of national TV networks in the US. So I wanted to invite her to talk to us today about a specific topic, which is the topic of money. Now, you may ask, why ask a mind-body medicine doctor about money? Well, because just like, our health has everything to do with our level of energy and consciousness, well, so does our money, actually. And so I wanted to speak to Dr. Kim because she also has developed programs now where she specifically supports therapists, healers, coaches, etc., who have their own practices to develop their business in a way that obviously is fulfilling and aligned, and and develop their businesses. So in this interview, we talk about how to evolve our thinking about money. So I think particularly if you're a therapist or a coach or a healer, you will love this interview. But even if you're not, and maybe you are aspiring to sometime at some point, go into your own business, I think you will find this very beneficial as well. So enjoy. There was a time when you were young and free. Hi, Kim. How are you? Thank you for being here.
I'm so glad to be here. I'm really excited about what we'll share.
Yes, awesome. So I wanted to, invite you on this summer series to talk about, and very directly actually, and very honestly, about the topic of money. And especially because a lot of the women that I work with, a lot of them are, coaches, therapists, healers, etc. And I mean, let's be direct. Money is a topic that's on our minds like a lot. And there tends to be often a sense of struggle with money. And actually, even not just for those women that I work with who are therapists, but women who are maybe considering maybe leaving a corporate career because they feel that, they'd like to do something, I don't know, that would have more meaning for them or whatever. I mean, money typically tends to be the #1 thing on the list, together with maybe competing with, I'm not sure what I would do, quite yet. And so you started as a doctor, an emergency medicine doctor. So you had a very safe, quite high paying job, I would assume. And you did that journey of becoming a mind-body therapist and healer, and you have your own business now. And so I would like to start with asking you if you'd like to share a little bit of your personal journey with us, and specifically as it relates to money, like how maybe did you used to think about money? How do you think about it now, and what shifted, on the way as you went about your own path?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's certainly one of the things that can anchor people into limitation is the way they think about money, the way they function in relationship with money. So I think by starting, who we're speaking to are people, like you said, they're coaches or healers or people who are moving into something more expansive. So for those of you who are feeling that calling, or maybe have already stepped into something and you're looking to get more established there, it's really important to understand that you've already begun to step into something more expansive than what the typical construct says is possible. So even with just coaching or, bringing people into a higher possibility, you're working in something more fluid. You're understanding in some level that there's more possible than what we think or than what we've been told is possible about ourselves, about our relationship or our life or our health or whatever it is you're assisting people with. You understand that on some level. There's something more possible than what we've been told. And the same thing is where we've got to step in with money. Am I willing to step into something more expansive than what I've been told about what money is, about how money works, about what I need to do or can't do, about what's possible in my money? So we're stepping from A to B. A is, oh, I have this, people think it's a safe job. This is security because every month I'm going to work and then I'm going to reliably have this paycheck and that's that. But we already know that's not true. It wasn't ever true. And it's certainly, you're aware that it's not true now. There's millions and millions of people who found, I've got this secure little nest egg. And then it's like, poof, it's gone. I have no retirement. Or I have this secure job. That's my source. And then poof, it's gone. So you've got to look first at what really is my source. Is that job my source? Is my work my source? Is, working harder and harder? Is that my source? Is my husband my source? Because some people, their primary source of income
Yes.
is maybe a different person, or maybe you've got like a grant, or you've got a trust, or is that your source? But the answer is always the universe is my source. So whether it's my health and where I feel energized every day and filled with passion and inspiration, that didn't come from a finite place. That came from beyond me, the infinite me. It's the same with money. The mind doesn't really get this, so don't worry about that at first. Just like the mind doesn't get that the body can heal itself, or that there's, the body is connected with the source of healing. And it's the degree to which I open that will come through and heal my body, or I'm shut down and I'm like still suffering with disease. Same is true with money. So we've got to first begin to loosen what we think is true about money before we can begin to experience it in a new way.
So can you tell me more about when you're saying, the universe is my source, right? And so my source is infinite, can you tell me more about that? Like, what does that actually mean versus, well, my money source is my paycheck, or, the number of clients that I have.
Yeah. So it's always true. Like even when I was practicing in the ER and it seemed like I had this quote steady, gig and my paycheck was my source, whatever. It's always true that it's actually something higher than me. Like what gave me the wisdom to choose to go into that, the ability to go through and get my degree, the ability to sustain myself and move through to become, an emergency medicine doctor, or what gave you the idea or the stamina to go through to get where you are now and get that job or whatever, or what gave you the inspiration to create a business as a coach or a healer, what gave you the courage. All of it comes from beyond you. If you think that's the you, the small you kind of wants to take credit, because then it's like, I'm great, I feel good about myself. But the true you is infinite. You are not your body. You are not your title. You are not your degree. You are the being experiencing all of it. And as that infinite being, you're a spiritual being having a physical experience. As that infinite being, you can open to truly unthinkable possibilities. So like when I found, we found our home, we knew we wanted to live in a place that felt a certain way and had certain kind of people and certain kind of access because we like to travel, certain kind of education, all the things. And my husband and I got really intentional about what was the essence of what we were really looking for. We hadn't found a house. We hadn't found our community. We're kind of floating in no man's land. And we decided to get conscious about this. And it was like weeks after we did that and made our list that we found Durango, Colorado. And we didn't go hunting and searching. I met someone at an event I was at, and she looked me in the eye and said, before you buy anything, you have to look at Durango. And it was like bells and whistles went off. And I knew because it was a match. I could feel that it was a vibrational match for what we'd gotten clarity on. Well, I didn't create that. That didn't come from me. It came through me. And within like weeks later, we found the house, beautiful, beautiful home we live in. I didn't build the home. I didn't go out and commission someone to build the home. I didn't even make the money for that to happen. It was created, but I was a receiver. And because I was willing to be a receiver, I was able to receive possibilities that I really would have never imagined in a million years, let alone know how to find and know how to make it. So we're always doing this, but to what degree are you a receiver in your life? So when we get out of the idea that it comes from me and we open to the awareness that it comes through me, we realize that being a receiver, being receptive to that which I cannot control, that which I do not know, allows a lot more possibilities to be created. So when we look at our money, can I be in fluidity with it? Or am I still in fear? Because fear is separation. Fear is limitation. Fear is lack. So in fear consciousness, money is separate from me. There's only a certain amount I can have and I got to go get it. But in a space of, you can say unity consciousness, you could say ease, you know, if you just relax your body comes into a higher frequency. Things will occur to you differently. You'll have different thoughts, different awareness, and you become more receptive. So you're already a receptor for more money just from making that shift. Just relax your shoulders, breathe more fully. You dissipate the old energy. So I don't know if I specifically answered your question,
Yeah,
but
no,
that's how we
yes.
make a shift and how we see things.
Yes, yes. So I want to maybe zoom into some of the points that you're making here, because I mean, I'm getting from what you're saying, okay, there's a shift that has to happen, and that shift has to happen inside of you, which in a way, you know, it's kind of good news when you know, we have the tendency to look outside and go, oh my God, how am I going to make this happen? You know, let's say I'm thinking of going into, you know, growing my own business, or I have my own business and I'm worried about making enough and having enough. What you're saying is the source of your abundance, your prosperity, your money is actually going to be 100% dependent on your inner state rather than your outer conditions, right?
100%. And you
Yeah.
could look at that as like, okay, what are the right 20 beliefs that you have about money right now? Like, do this exercise, take a moment, you know, pause the video, write the 20 thoughts or beliefs you bought into, and be really generous with yourself. Do not judge. We've all had these limiting ideas that got plugged in unconsciously, but you can kind of clean out the wardrobe when you look and you're writing them down, and then look over the next few days of like, where do these show up in my life? And just get curious. That's all you're going to do, because your awareness can shift it, but you just get curious about, is this really true for me?
Yeah. Could you maybe give me, sorry, an example from your personal journey, like one belief that you realized that you had about money, and how did you, you know, uproot it or change it?
Oh, I can tell you like 20, because I did this exercise.
Your most favorite, biggest one, or?
Well, our relationship with money needs to continually evolve, because we're always in expansion. So life's going to call you into a greater expression of your truth, a greater contribution in the world, a greater level of freedom, a greater level of abundance. And you've got to be willing to like clean out the closet of all the layers keeping that from being in place. So my worth is related to my income. That was a belief.
My worth is related to my income. Okay.
My worth is related to my income. I have to work harder if I want to make more money. You know, especially when I was working in the ER, I knew, I had the awareness I was here for way more abundance. And then I'd look at the structure I was in. I'm like, I got this paycheck. Well, if I work harder, and even though that didn't make sense, like I knew that the match energetically for where I really wanted to live my life, it wasn't even possible. No matter how many ER shifts I did, it would never be fluid. It would never be free. It would never really truly be abundance. So I understood this belief, but you know, it took a while to really shift it and step into something else. Not that long, but you know,
Yeah.
I would say, what else? There's a ton of them. Money is confusing. I'm not organized with money. That was a big one for me, because you know, the left brain and the math and like, oh, we have different accounts going here, going there. Money is confusing. So that would keep me in a frequency.
Yes.
So I've had to like get really curious about these.
Yes.
Be
I'm
willing.
curious about, and I know that you have programs now with like for coaches and healers and therapists and helping them grow their business, Yvonne. And so I'm curious about what you see in them as well in terms of their limiting beliefs. And what I'm seeing a lot is this sense of, oh my God, I gotta have more clients to make more money. I'm not making enough money. How do you work with that, or what would be, one suggestion of how we could start tackling that when we literally sometimes wake up at night with the anxiety of like, how am I gonna pay even my bills?
So one thing that happens when you step into this kind of business, which is more expansive, my business is 100% online. There's downloadable products. People are purchasing things while I sleep. There's automatic ways people can find what I'm doing and choose it. And so I've got to step into that. And the body, the physical cellular structure actually holds memory, and it will hold, like all the beliefs you write down, it's holding that. It's like a automatic program. Okay, got it. We're not going to be this, and we're only going to be that, and we can only make this much money, and money is bad, or it doesn't grow on trees. It logs in all those beliefs, and what you see and how you operate will subconsciously be in that space. So you've got to actually assist your body and letting that go as you're choosing something more expansive. And one way I found to do that is just skin on skin. When you touch your body, and just really, really, really slow, like run your hand down your arm or on your neck. This releases oxytocin, which is a bonding hormone, connects you with your higher self, changes brain patternings out of fight or flight fear and into harmony, increases endorphins, so it releases pain and it dissipates energy through your body, and also decreases your cortisol level, stress hormone, inflammation, all of that will decrease. And all you're going to do is take a minute, especially when the fear is up, to just gently touch your body. It's okay to let this go. It's okay to let this go, because you bought into those programs. It's not your body's fault. Your body's like, but you said it was limited. You said we can't be that expansive. You said I got to stay in the box. And you did in some way, consciously or unconsciously. So just very tenderly, with compassion, let your body know, body, we can let this go. It will come up automatically. Like, you're choosing expansion. You're saying, I want to have an amazing business doing what I love to do and I'm best at, fluidly receiving money that funds and supports my awesome life. Okay, great. That's available. And everything that's not that is immediately going to come up for the purpose of you letting it release, for no other reason, for the purpose of you saying, oh yes, no to that, release that. Okay, thank you very much, by embracing what you feel. So this little small exercise, because I had that a lot. It was like, holy freaking crap. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Because the old paradigm, it's not going to die instantly. It's like, sometimes it's going to hang on because you really bought into the idea of this 401k plan, or my job is my security. What am I doing? When you follow your expansion, it's going to lead you way beyond that. And it does have way more in store for you, but you got to let those old mind patterns go. So just
right. Yes.
Release
so
them.
Yes, I've heard two things that I think I want to maybe dive into, especially the second thing to dive into a little bit more. The first thing, though, that's like a great thing, I think, to hear is that the stress, let's say you're deciding to become whatever, a healer, a therapist, when you start growing, even when you're during, we're always learning when you're during this process of having your own business. What you're saying is the stuff, the crap will come up, the fears, about money, the stress. And that's not bad. That's just a sign that you're growing, right? And so to not panic.
It's going from subconscious to conscious. That's
right.
actually a really good thing.
Yes. Yeah. And it makes a lot of sense, right? If I was, safely tucked into my corporate job before, maybe I never had to experience these programmings of like, where is my money going to come from? But obviously, from the moment you cut yourself from that and you go into your own business, then this will come up. So that's a great thing, is if you guys listening or watching are experiencing that anxiety, to know that it's okay. You can hold that and be a witness to that, is what I'm hearing, and be aware that it's stuff that's coming up to be transmuted in a way, right? So it's normal, and you can not let yourself get overwhelmed by it, but you can be a witness to it and let it transmute. The second thing is, you're talking about the fear, right? Yeah, you're talking about the fear, and versus the feeling of expansion, right? Which is where you want to go. And so that emotional scale, I think, is a concept I'd like you to maybe explain to us, is, where we can literally, we can get really bogged down and go down into fear and anxiety and lack, and how am I going to do? And then if we act from there, is very different than if we, move up that spiral into like more expansion, faith or trust, confidence, serenity, quiet. What can you explain about this concept of like this emotional scale, and how do we move up when we catch ourselves being literally caught up and overwhelmed by the fear or the anxiety? How can we, move up that ladder so that we reach a place where we can actually take action that's, well inspired?
Well, we're taught a lot about like being in a better place than where we already are, avoiding, escaping, improving ourselves, overcoming. But that won't actually create abundance. That just sort of like, you'll ask any billionaire, does your money make you feel a sense of fulfillment? And zero of them will say, zero, or if lots of millionaires, same thing, like zero will say, oh, because I have this money, I feel such a sense of personal fulfillment. It's always a cover up to avoid a sense of inadequacy. So doesn't mean it's not a great thing. It just means that's not the thing that has you feel whole. And so we can only feel a sense of wholeness by embracing who we are. I embrace who I am unconditionally. I have this fear about money. I embrace who I am. I have this fear about being seen. I embrace that. That actually increases your personal frequency. And that's what allows more money to come in, which can be a match for the sense of self you've stepped into, but not the other way around. Meaning you allow yourself to meet your fear more fully. That brings you a sense of greater wholeness, greater security, not the other way around, right? So that can welcome and invite more money. It's going to 100% welcome more money, because you can feel the difference between someone who's like, I'm a coach, I can help you, really, really follow me. And they're in a graspy frequency of, please help me feel better about myself by helping me make more money or being my client and validating me, versus someone who's like, hey, let's do this. I've seen what's possible and I'm going to assist you. They've already grounded into a space of wholeness. And that's the difference. That's all the difference when someone, boom, like, I've had people watch a video and say, boom, I'm flying from Bali to come and be in your $15,000 retreat. I know that you're the person I'm here to work with. I know we can do this together, and haven't even met me yet because of the frequency I'm grounded in, versus, in the past, oh, let me make more videos. Let me do more, let me really prove it so then people get it. Will never happen. Will never happen. So your personal frequency, what we've seen medically is that the body is actually energy. We are electromagnetic. We emit a vibration. And this isn't something people necessarily need to understand or be conscious of, but they will feel you. And they either feel more whole, more love, more freedom, or less. They feel more fear. They feel more insecurity. They feel more lack. One of the big things I had to sort of unlearn as I moved into more and more expansion in my business was that the marketing structures that I've been studying are all based in fear consciousness, meaning they're based in the awareness that when you feel more insecure, you're likely to spend more money trying to get that fulfillment, right? I'm going to get this thing. Oh, I'm going to get that program. Oh, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to get that makeup.
Yep.
People are in more fear / lack / separation. They will try to fill the hole by buying stuff or doing things. And so a lot of marketing that's out there is based on this. So it's like, hey, I've got this amazing coaching program, but only 10 spots left, right? Create a sense of lack and urgency. Well, that isn't going to work if you're stepping into something more expansive. It's not going to work. Why? Because it's the frequency you're in, not the strategies or tactics you use. And those strategies and tactics decrease your frequency. They bring you into fear and lack. Because the only reason you would do any of those slimy sales tactics is because you feel a sense of lack yourself. So if you reverse the whole thing, throw all of that out the window, and let what I've said before, let the universe be your marketer. Okay, I'm going to let my personal frequency increase, and then let my life and my business be the reflection of that. So every day I spend time connecting with myself more deeply. I understand, medically, scientifically, that is the most essential way to increase your personal frequency. You increase your wealth quotient, not by becoming a better person or shining your light more brightly, but by embracing your darkness. I didn't say fixing the lack or fixing a sense of unworthiness, but by embracing it. So if I just sit with the urgency and just sit with the fear, or sit with the feelings of inadequacy, or even the feelings of that motivation, I want to have more, I want to do more. Okay, what is that? Is that authentic, or is that a need I'm trying to fill by making more money? Okay, you can't do it that way. I'm going to sit with that instead. I will become present to these underlying energies that are not the true me.
Yeah.
These underlying maybe grasps, be like, oh, I'm not enough. I gotta do more. I don't feel whole until this happens. And I just sit with them. Just my presence neutralizes them. And we can measure this electromagnetic field up to 8 to 12 feet away from your physical body. But it extends way out even beyond that. That's how we can connect non-locally. We're not just physical bodies. When I am willing to sit with my own fears, my own feelings of inadequacy, just take, I do an hour, but just start with 15 minutes, because I know 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it was impossible for me to do an hour. I didn't understand it. So I wasn't really willing to go there for myself. So I was still spinning my wheels, and it was excruciating. If I were to stop and sit with it for 10 minutes, but I swear to God, it'd do an hour, it is the most powerful thing you could.
So you're talking, just to be specific, you're talking about sitting down in meditation for an hour. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, I just sit down and I feel my body. Hey body, how are you? And I just breathe and presence my body. Everything that's there will be there, but I've got to meet it in order to become aware of it.
There's so much of what you said that resonates, and especially what I find really, really interesting, and I know it from knowing your work, but in what you're saying now is the way out of fear and anxiety is not to get out there and, scramble, do more things, buy more workshops, or whatever it is, it's to learn to sit with yourself and sit with your fear and anxiety. And it's very simple, but it's very profound. And it's just not, the truth is, you're right, is that it's the last thing we want to do is freaking sit with ourselves and that fear. We just want to get out there and buy another whatever, something, or do
escape it. We want to escape it so badly.
Work more, work harder, read some more books, buy some more programs potentially. And not to say that it's not bad, and actually that is bad, and I want to actually get to that now, but that sense of sitting with yourself and your emotions and letting them be versus wanting to get rid of the fear, there's a lot of fancy talk about.
Well, then we can have the clarity of what is guided from inspiration and what is
rather than fear,
from desperation.
Inspiration versus desperation. Yeah, great. And so, one thing I do want to just zoom into for a second is, sometimes when I prepare for these sessions, I like to ask a few people around me, like, what would you like to know more about? What would you like to hear? And a question that I've received is, okay, I'm starting my business as a therapist or healer, and my business is not profitable yet. And, you know, a lot of anxiety and fear, but I'm really, really resisting buying, you know, or paying for some
Yeah.
support, even from somebody
But
who's
that's
actually
what happens
inspiring.
when we're in the spin out. We do all these investments and we're like, that didn't work. Then we can't decipher like what is actually something that will really contribute to me. And it's
Exactly.
the same thing. Like if I can get present to my body, and it takes a bit, if you're in a spin out, like
Yes.
let the dust settle, you can have a clear awareness. We have actually a workshop. It's a free workshop in a couple of weeks about
Yes.
this.
Yes. I wanted to bring it
But
up because it's exactly aligned with what we're covering now. So yes.
it's at drkimd.com/workshop. drkimd.com/workshop. You can register for free. But basically, when we are willing to let the dust settle, we can trust our inspiration. Whenever someone's going to like come into a program with me or invest in a retreat or whatever, I'll tell them like, sit with this, feel the energy, like put your hand on your heart and bring your awareness to someone or something that you love. So connect with that higher frequency first.
Hmm.
Or a day that you enjoy that you're like, oh, I was in serenity. Bring yourself into that space. I'm in joy, all is well. I feel a sense of love. So you start there and breathe 5 breaths. And then you feel into the choice. Will this contribute to my ultimate expansion, serenity, joy, freedom, love, wealth? Will this contribute to that? And you just feel, and you'll either feel like, or you'll feel,
Yeah.
what will this choice contribute to me? So once you start in that higher space of, you know, and maybe it takes you more than 5 breaths to get there. Do not rush this. There's no rush. Be anxious for nothing. The only way you can create abundance in your life is to first create abundance in yourself, or just ease within yourself, or just relax your shoulders 2%. So start there and then ask, what will this choice create for me? And you'll feel awareness, just awareness. It'll be like, ah, or it'll be like, black and white. It's very black and white if you have gotten clear first. Most people are asking, should I do this course? Should I da 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 da? Well, should is all about duality in the mind and the belief systems. And yeah, you should definitely, you know, do the safe thing of what society tells you should do. That's the mind. Get the mind out of the equation, go into the heart, let your energy source you, and you can have this awareness. The second step, which is a lot of people have challenges with, am I willing to trust my awareness? And this is what we can speak a little to. We'll speak a lot more to this in the workshop, drkimd.com/workshop. It's free. But this is the piece. Am I willing to choose that? So we are either choosing the mind, the limitation, the lack, the belief system of fear, or we're choosing our expansion.
Yeah.
The only thing that I can do, I can't make money fall out of the sky. I can't make my business grow. I can't make that house, my dream house, appear. But I can, in each moment, choose my expansion, choose in favor of my ease. So 1 is get the clarity, and 2 is choose in favor of your ease. And sometimes we just need more clarity. Is this really going to, is it going to be okay? And ask for a sign like, okay, let's just get, more awareness. Sometimes just making a choice brings more awareness, but be willing to get yourself clear and choose in favor of your ease. And it will always, always, always create more wealth and abundance.
Yeah, great. So I think just to conclude, right, because I know that our time is limited. To conclude, what I'm picking up, is that we tend to focus on money as a topic, or we call it abundance and prosperity, but let's be honest, 99% of us, what we actually think of when we hear abundance and prosperity is money. What I'm hearing from all that you're saying is it's actually never the actual issue, right? How would when we say money is just another symptom or manifestation of energy, right?
It's a reflection. It's a reflection of
Yes.
where you're residing. Are you residing more in lack, or are you residing more in love, freedom, ease? And every single moment you have a choice in favor of fear, in favor of love. Every single moment, not just, oh, I'm going to move, or I'm going to quit my job, or I'm getting married, big things, right? Or the things we think are big, but in every single breath, how are you breathing into your body? Are you breathing up here in the upper chest, activating the sympathetic nervous system to make sure you stay in fear so you can conquer the dragon? Or are you letting more ease come into your body? Because when you even just breathe and let more ease come into your body, you just increase your wealth quotient. So money is always going to be a reflection of that. It's never, ever, 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 ever about the money. It's about your beliefs about money.
Right. So if anybody, again, when you're listening to this or watching this and considering, oh, maybe I should quit my job, or maybe I should buy this program, or maybe I should do this, or maybe I should do that. It's not actually about putting your focus out there. It's more bring your focus back in here and get present, right? Because I'm hearing a lot of getting back to your body is getting back into the present moment and check with what is there, right? And what do you need and what feels more expensive.
But there's two things I wanted to say as we conclude. One is that we're moving into a new way of doing business, a new way of, for me, a new way of health and healing, helping people understand the body's ability to heal itself. In coaching, helping people connect with their true wisdom, whatever it is you're doing. You're moving into more expansive work, but then we might still be operating in an old paradigm with money. And that simply won't work for me. Before my business could really grow, I had to, like you say, put your money where your mouth is. I had to fully vest in the knowing I'm always provided for. I am always taken care of. All really is well with money. Even though there's fear, even though there's blah, 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 even though these thoughts, I choose to know what I know and let money flow fluidly. So every choice I make in my business has to be aligned with that. What happened in the past was it was like, well, I know money is infinite, and as I increase my frequency, but just in case, let me make sure I do these Facebook ads this way. Or just in case, let me make sure I buy that program. Or just in case, let me make sure I do a little extra work today, even though I'd rather go for a walk. Yes. And now 100%, like my first, second, and third priority is my own state of being. And I will take stuff off my schedule. I will cater to that. I will make sure that I align with my highest space of ease so that everything gets created around that. So that's like the first thing I wanted to share as we complete is you really do want to move into a new relationship with money. The other thing to remember as like an entrepreneur or someone stepping out into a different structure is life is guiding you to this. You did not create the wisdom of like, oh, I have a message and this is what I'm going to do. So let me create a business around that. It came through you, not from you. And you can trust the source of that inspiration or that wisdom or that idea. You can trust the source of just the energy that wakes you up in the morning. You can trust the source of life to guide you in your business. So we're used to seeing business as this 3D construct, and then healing is like this 5D construct and a higher space. But what about, and that's the title of the workshop is your 5D business. How do I create a business anchored in a space of abundance consciousness? So this, you can trust the source of what's guiding you and let it in more and let it be what dissolves the fear and guides you to something higher.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. I just want to direct people as well, maybe to your website and YouTube channel, because there are a lot of resources, you guys, in terms of including like tapping meditations and things to really help you, get present for those of you who are starting on this path. So can you maybe direct us to what's your website? And
the website is drkimd.com. And there's a quiz there if you've had like, anxiety or any physical challenges or illness or symptoms. And it guides you through like, what are some tools that help you align with health and healing. And then the workshop we share, drkimd.com/workshop. And you'll get, it's going to be recorded. So you can have that for free either way. And on YouTube, it's Dr. Kim Duramo. I share lots of stuff. We go live every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Mountain, in the Mind Body community in Facebook, and also on my YouTube channel. So you can join me there each week.
Okay, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Kim.
Yeah, thank you, sweet, beautiful woman. You're doing great work.
I'll be at your workshop. So
okay, cool. Way to go with your summer series. Thanks for being part of it.
Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.